Fellow at Department of Economics, Islamic University of Science and Technology, Avantipora, Jammu and Kashmir. So I think Ms. Samar is with us, joining. Over to you, ma'am, if you are there.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Jammu and Kashmir Economic Association, it's my pleasure to welcome you all to 10 days workshop on research methodology in social sciences. I'm Khair, Samar, and I'm currently pursuing PhD in economics from Islamic University of Science and Technology. I'll be moderating the session. First, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed guests, resource persons who have graciously agreed to share their expertise with us today. We are truly honored to have such distinguished individuals with us. I'd also like to extend a warm welcome to all the participants who have joined us from various places. Over the next 1 hour, we will be delving into the key components and strategies for writing research proposal. Our goal is to provide you with valuable insights and practical skills that you can apply in your respective fields. We encourage everyone to actively participate, ask questions, and share your thoughts. It's now my honor and privilege to introduce our distinguished resource person for this session. Ms. Bemisal Alavi is a senior lecturer at Baspa University Academic Center, Ras Al Khaimah. Ms. Alavi is teaching in the university since 2014. Ms. Alavi is currently pursuing her PhD in Management Sciences. Today, Ms. Alavi will be sharing insights on the key components and strategies for writing effective research proposals. Ms. Alavi will guide us through the essential elements, common pitfalls, and basic practices to enhance your research proposals. We are incredibly fortunate to have Ms. Bemisal Alavi with us today, and I'm confident that her presentation will be both enlightening and inspiring. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Ms. Bemisal Alavi. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Ms. Khair Samar. And first of all, let me thank the organizing team who invited me to be part of this prestigious event. Actually, one of my passion is to help out and reach out to those students and the academicians and the like-minded people that we can collaborate in any way. So this is one of my privilege to be part of this event. So let us start the session as she has already began with my introduction. So let me just start with the session. So I was thinking who will be the participants. So I have a vague sense of who you belong to, which countries do you belong to. So I basically belong to Sindh, Pakistan, and I can see many Indians are there. And some of the people I can see from Philippines, and there would be some other countries. If you can just drop your country in the chat box, that would be very, understandable to me. Just for an introduction.
Actually, we are having participants all, across the South Asia, Middle East, and yes, Middle East and Arabian and South African countries.
That's great. That's great. So I will be focusing on the writing an effective research proposal, specifically for those who are writing their thesis, or those who are enrolled in PhD programs, or those who are enrolled in the MPhil programs, or maybe at the undergraduate level, because now we have some programs in universities, they are asking students to submit their proposals before they want to secure a scholarship in the foreign countries. So let us start with this. This is related to my LinkedIn profile. If you want to connect with me, this is my LinkedIn profile screenshot with you. So I have a little bit idea that who you belong to, which country. So the learning outcomes, which I expect, are understanding the structure and components, because in the previous session that was really very well presented. And she already told about some of the aspects that you can follow in the research concern. So specific to the research, to the proposal, the main concern of students is that how it should be structured. So first I will be covering about understanding the structure and components, that what should be the general components, because it varies from university to university, it varies from level to level. So I will be just touching the absolute ingredients of proposal. Relative could be many more, so I will be just focusing on the absolute structure and components. And then we'll talk about how we can effectively write. And there could be some techniques that I will be sharing with you, and proposal development skills that will be developed throughout these two expected learning outcomes. So for this, I have some objectives that introduce key elements, as I already told you, some key ingredients of research proposal, and enhance writing proficiency and develop practical skills. So I will try my best to give some examples also so that you understand clearly. So whenever we are talking about the research proposal, we may know that what is research proposal, but we should also know that why it is being designed. What is the purpose behind designing or writing a research proposal? So first of all, you have to understand the why, that why it is important. What is the purpose of writing the research proposal? First of all, it is important because it communicates what your research is all about. You have a piece of paper that you can write about what your research is all about, like what you want to explore. Is it a problem, that how you will be approaching it to resolve this problem, and how you'll be going to contribute in the field. Then it should also be convincing to the reader to approve the research proposal, right? So because these are the main concerns while writing a research proposal. So now, how do we convince? First of all, research focus must be clear and defined well. So what is your research focus? We will talk in more detail that what should be how we can make it clear and focused. Next is justified research gap, which is very, very important and crucial to a good research proposal. And related to the topic and related to the research area, it should be original. It should be unique, okay, that how you are going to fill the gap and how your research is going to have the significant impact in the academia. Then it should be realistic and achievable. It should make a sense that whatever you are proposing in your proposal, that XYZ is my topic and I will be doing it in these ways, but it should be pragmatic. It should be not a dogmatic one. It should be something that is achievable. It should be within the boundaries. You should clearly define the scope of your research. So in final things, you can ask yourself, is it clearly defined? And is it worth doing? And is it doable? So now let's talk about the structure, how to write the research proposal. I will be covering some of the major ingredients of research proposal. That is, first of all, is provisional title, then introduction and research problem, and then we have the literature review. Some of the things have already been discussed. I will be just focusing from the perspective of writing the research proposal. And then methodology and reference list and practicalities. That also depends from university to university. And some final tips we will be finalizing related to the writing skills and proposal writing. So coming to the first first ingredient, that is provisional title. Why we say it's provisional? Because when you are submitting the proposal to the authorities, to the readers, they may propose you some changes. So it is possible that you may have to change your topic, or you may have to refine it well to meet the purpose of the authentic research topic. So first of all, you have to focus on the feasibility. Like when we are having the many ideas in the mind, so where should we start first? First of all, you have to jot down all the ideas you have. Okay, may it be like 3 ideas, 4 ideas. It may be something interesting to you. It may be something related to your skills. It may be related to the program you are studying, or it may be related to some personal experiences. It may be related to anything. So you have to jot down those areas of concern there where you want to do the research, first of all. So then further you can refine, you can look at the literature review, you review articles, and then you can come up with the final topic. Next, as I told already, interest and passion. And you should be very clear that in which area you want to do the research. Because, for example, if you say, I want to do research in the management sciences. Management sciences is the very, very broader term, right? It has sub-areas and many sub-areas. So you have to be clear about which area particularly, to be very specific in which area you want to do the research. First of all, you have to be very clear, then you have to write it down. It should be original. Original means it's something novel, right? It should be from your perspective. Sometimes it happens that you would find many researches with identical, duplicate topics. But there would be some differences in the methodologies, maybe in the findings, right? Or maybe in the sample. So there could be many things. So, but your idea must be original, your research proposal. Ethical consideration, that is most important thing related to the research concern. When we are talking about research, we have to think of a topic which is ethically, which we can ethically comply with. There are some topics like, for example, sexual abuse or something, but yet research is important in those areas. So we must be understanding the confidentiality of those topics. We must be understanding the privacy consent. So first of all, the title which we are thinking about, or the area which we are interested in, it must be falling under the ethical consideration area. Because in this 1 hour session, I'm not able to discuss each and everything very in much detail, but I will try my best. And of course, after you decide with list of topics, like may it be 3 topics or maybe 5 topics at most, right? You can visit your supervisor, or you can visit some experts. You can ask some of the friends, okay? You can consult with them, get some help that these are the areas what do you think of this title? Do you think this title is correct? Or is it it needs any improvement? And so this way you must consult with someone to decide with your title. Sorry?
Recording.
Okay.
Please carry on. I have muted him.
Okay. So you would find different topics. For example, these are some of the topics I have listed down with different areas, okay? Like first one is evaluating the impact of transformational leadership on employee performance and organizational innovation. So this topic, if you see, this topic is clear. It has to be more specific. However, we could say somebody can think of this topic as evaluating the impact of leadership on employee performance. So here it is specifying the transformational leadership. So you will be only focusing on the transformational leadership. Further, this topic can yet be specified with concern to your sample. You can specify your sample. For example, evaluating the impact of transformational leadership on employee performance in organizational innovation in banking sector, for example. Or you can apply with the sector, you can do with the industry, or you can do with a particular company. That would be a case study. So there could be different ideas of the topics. Sometimes talking about the topic formatting, what are the elements required to be in the topic, in a good topic? First of all, there should be the key elements clearly defined in the topic, clearly written in the topic. Like here, the key elements are transformational leadership and the employee performance in organizational innovation. So these key, the key terms are there, but yet it can be specified. Next is analyzing the role of corporate governance in enhancing firm performance and shareholder value in emerging markets. So you can associate this, you can specify more with the stated country, right? So we can get to specify these topics. Next, for example, some of the topics are stating the type of study. For example, this is stating is an empirical analysis of determinants of FDI, foreign direct investment, in GCC countries. So first, try not to have the abbreviations in the topic. It should be very clear, right? Because sometimes it happens, like we can have some abbreviation which can have more than one acronyms, right? Which can have more than one, the full forms. So there we can have the problem. Next, we have a qualitative investigation of customer experiences and perceptions of brand authenticity in fashion industry. So this topic is actually defining the type of study also. So it's a good idea to state the type of study that we will be covering more in the methodology section. And this one is a qualitative exploration. So this is, and there, these topics are stating the type of study. A qualitative study of impact of CSR initiatives on community relationship in retail sector. So these are good topics. You can follow these type of, you can frame your topics this way. Next, we have, for example, another important aspect here, this one, quantitative analysis of impact of corporate governance on firm performances in financial sector. Okay, a British context, for example. So we can say an Indian context or a British context or South Asian context, like that. So it simply means that this research will be covering on XYZ countries or the number of countries or the group of countries, right? So this was about the first aspect, that how you can decide with the topic and what are the important elements to consider deciding with your topic. I hope it is clear to all of you. We will be having questions at the end of the session. So write your questions with you. Next component, ingredient of proposal is introduction and research plan. That is very important, introduction and the research plan. So first of all, how you should write about the introduction part. You can start with some background information. For example, if we are talking about the empirical analysis of foreign direct investment determinants in G20 countries or GCC countries, so we should start with the background of how FDI started development, like in the late 90s, right? So we should start with some historical background or how the numbers changed, right? Where there was a significant change. If you look at the graph of FDI, it was like in the 1995 onwards, it started increasing a lot, right? So you can start with how it started and like what is FDI, how it started, okay, and why it's important. And then you can come to narrow down your focal point. Your focal point here in this topic would be FDI, right? And then its determinants, I mean the variables, right? So you have to then come up with, you have to narrow down your focal point. So while you are doing it, always you have to justify your focus, that why you have selected or why you want to do a research on this topic. The significance of your research must be clearly defined and justified in the introduction. Like it may be because there is a lot of change every day. So no research in your country or industry may have done before, or existing research may be obsolete, or you want to contribute by filling the gap of like within the same timeline which you are selecting, like you are going to have the analysis from maybe 1995 to 2024, right? So you can just justify that why you are going to select this, in number of years. So you can focus on, you have to find your why here. That why you want to do research on this in this domain. First, you have to start with the domain, and then you come to your topic, and then you straight go to little bit discuss about the research significance. Okay, so you have to specify your scope in the introduction section. That see, there could be many reasons, many things related to FDI, right? And there could be many aspects, like it could be economic development, it could be the national concerns. So you have to give the limitations to your study. That is it your what is your scope of study? What is the limitations? What are the boundaries of your research? What you will be covering and what you will not be covering, right? So you have to specify it. Then you have to state your most important aims and questions, your aims of research. For example, you have specified your introduction section, and within the introduction section, now you have told that you know about this topic very well, and you want to do research on this topic with this objectives, with this aim, and with this, you will be answering to XYZ question, right? That is very, very important, because if your questions are not well justified, your questions are not well defined, this is a kind of image that you are not clear about your research. Because within this topic, let me go to the topic again, an empirical analysis of determinants of FDI in GCC countries. So there could be many questions related to this topic, but what question you are going to answer within your domain of research. So this will actually specify the scope of your research also. It will also specify many things that we will be discussing later on. Okay. So this is basically the aim and the questions that are most of it often part of the introduction section of most of the universities' formats. Also, it is followed by the hypothesis. So for example, same topic, for example, what could be the aim of this research? To empirically analyze the factors influencing FDI investment inflows in Gulf cooperation councils. So this is, you want to analyze the factors influencing, means the determinants. So this is a broader aim. You can even synthesize this aim in some other, like 2 to 3, 3 to 4 objectives that I will be focusing on XYZ determinants, right? Or you can, here you have a chance to make your research to answer, if your research question would be in a way that it is answering the what and why and how, then you can expand your objectives also, because they must be aligned with each other. Okay, so these would be the objectives. Further objectives, like evaluate the impact of economic factors, then the institutional factors, then the sector-specific influences. So you see, in these objectives, if you're writing this way, you are going to specify, you're going to limit your research in a way that these are my objectives. Okay, however, the domain is too broad, but I will be only focusing on these areas. So further, you can then specify your hypothesis. In some of the universities formats I have observed, the hypothesis may be in the introduction section, or it can be after the literature review. Because some of the university samples, they say that it is important to know the literature, and then from the literature you have to extract the hypothesis. Okay, on the basis of, like, for example, XYZ person or the researcher, author, discussed the foreign direct investment determinants as, for example, GDP, for example, the per capita income, for example, the sustainability factors, for example, the natural resources, so all of them. So, but I will be focusing on XYZ. So then you can justify it that existing research is supporting these hypotheses. So my hypothesis is this one, that, for example, the GDP or the economic growth is significantly affecting the foreign direct investment inflow, right? So this way you can formulate your hypothesis, may it be in the introduction section or in the literature section. This is discussable and depending on the university which you are writing the proposal for. So research question and research aim are the most important aspects that are going to clarify the domain of your research, okay? So next is the literature review. So about literature review, this is actually providing you the foundation of what you are trying to explore, okay? Generally, when I was also, only student, that time I was thinking that why should I go for reviewing the, other authors? If I have the interest, I know the topic, but, why should I go for? It plays a very vital role because if you're not looking at the existing research, you're not able to extract the gap, okay? You're not able to refine your research objectives and your research questions. You're not able to define your scope of research, right? So this is actually giving the guidelines, what methodology you should go for, or what skills you should adopt, or what research design you should select, and what areas you should focus, where there is a gap, right? So it is giving you, sometimes we call it preliminary research, the literature review. Means it is before you start thinking of your research, first of all, you have to go for reviewing the literature. That is the right way. So if you will be going through some articles related to what you are thinking about to research, it will make a foundation, right? So this is the most important part also. So what existing research says in relation to your research aims and objectives. So for example, in the previous research aims and objectives related to the FDI topic I discussed with you, there could be a lot of research literature available. So you have to be very specific and related. You have to find out the relevant articles, just as in the previous section, you have understood how you can attach the filters to your search engines, right? So you can search for different literature related to what area you want to cover, what years you want to cover, right? So this way, it showcases understanding of existing literature. It is not only about what is existing research. It is more often why that existing research exists and how you can get help from that research, right? And how you can connect that research with your research problem, with your research gap. And you can demonstrate gap in existing literature. We have, in academia, we ask students to make such type of table. After you review the articles, you can, summarize the data in this way. For example, if you plan to review at least 3 articles a day or 2 articles a day, you can make summaries of those articles. This will provide you a good summary of literature review. Also, this would be helpful for you, and also you can implant this in the proposal. Okay. Then, of course, it is providing you guidance to decide your research design. We will, when we'll be discussing about the methodology, you will understand that how we can extract methodology from the literature, because most often it happens if data is qualitative, so we are adopting some skills. Okay, we don't need to design the questionnaire, we can just adopt the questionnaires, or we can, if the data is already existing, okay, so we don't have to design the same thing I want to say. And it is actually, what models are applied. For example, if you are going to test a theory, then what areas are already covered of the theory and tested in which areas of the world. So you can have the strong assumption. It will also make your research proposal very strong. So it connects the literature to your research aim and questions. So because you understand that it is every area could be categorized, right? For example, if we talk about FDI, it has inflow, it has outflow, or take any other area. Okay, when you brainstorm about any research area, you will have a lot of ideas. Okay, you can attach many variables to one dependent variable, and you can attach then mediating or moderating variables as well. But the thing is, when you are going through the literature, it is providing you the baseline. Okay, it is providing you the foundation. So it is actually connecting so you can find some most relevant literature related to your aim and your questions to justify them. So it should be comprehensive cover. Now let's talk about what you have to add in your literature review and how it should be an effective literature review. You should have to have the comprehensive coverage. For example, if your study is qualitative, okay, you may be going for the thematic analysis. So for thematic analysis, you can have predefined themes. So if you have predefined themes, you can just go through the literature review alongside the themes, like, for example, theme 1, theme 2, theme 3. Remember, I told you already, you don't have to focus on what the existing literature is. You have to make the interpretations, maybe like some who agrees, who disagrees, or it is proved or unproved or something, that this is significant or insignificant. So you have to extract the interpretations from the findings of the literature that you have to write in the literature review. Sometimes it happens, I have observed students only writing about the what the author said about, like if you just look at the tables and then you write those tables in the descriptive form. Don't be descriptive, be analytical, okay? And the next is critical evaluation. As I told you, be analytical rather than descriptive. Synthesis and integration. That's very pivotal area where we must understand that how we can synthesize the available literature. For example, you must have found you may have found around 10 most relevant articles. Sometimes it is not sufficient, but for proposal, it is fine. Okay. So those 10 most relevant articles, how you have to, get the important data from those articles related to the methodology, related to the findings, and how you can synthesize those all interpretations in the literature review statements, means the paragraphs. So that is most important. So you can do it different ways. For example, you can categorize the data. If you are having qualitative data, then you can just, or you are already decided your variables, then you can discuss it variable wise. You may have seen some articles and they are discussing the literatures variable wise, some themes wise, right? And some historical point of view. Like first, this happens mostly in the theoretical topics, right? Descriptive researches. So it depends. Next, it should be relevant in terms of time, in terms of quality, in terms of the problem, in terms of the focus point, right? Clear structure and organization. See, for example, if you are presenting the literature review, which is a decade ago, it is not going to influence that, that it will not be, you will not be able to find the gap, right? So sometimes it happens, it depends totally on the topic. Okay. So this way you can articulate you can summarize the literature review. However, we are not having much time, so I could discuss more. Okay. So I think a little bit discussion about the literature review is enough. Number 4 component is the research methodology. That is the, now you have answered about your research what, but here you are going to, you have already answered about research what and why. But here you will be answering about how. Okay, you have explored a problem and you think there is a research gap and you think you can contribute in the academia, but how you are going to do that? What methods you will be applying? Okay, how you will be, what data you will be using, from whom you will be collecting, whether it will be primary data, secondary data, or like how you are going to resolve the research problem, how you're going to answer the research problem by using different methodologies, research design. So that is clearly, described here. This is one of my favorite research design essentials summary provided by Saunders. Most of us, we know him well in the research design, research method. We have to start with how I think about the research. May it be the positivism, interpretivism, or the pragmatism, right? So we are not discussing what they are, but it depends, right? So if you are a positivist, for example, if you are a realist, you think the problems with, accurate, you want to resolve the problems within, you want justifications, accurate justifications, you want numbers in return. You're not a person who can be satisfied with only the descriptions. So this is where you understand, first of all, yourself, that what kind of researcher you are, right? So that is the research philosophy. Next, we have the research approach. Normally, we use deductive or inductive approach, okay? Deductive approach, like for this research of FDI, for example, if you are going to take a theory and test for the determinants of FDI, if there exists any theory, then you are taking a theory and you are testing it. So it is specific to general. So something that is, you are not generating a theory, but you are testing a theory. Okay. So that way, it would be a deductive from specific to general. Okay, so that would be inductive. But if you are, sorry, it would be deductive. If you are going to generate a theory, I think somebody's mic. Please turn it off.
Dr. Malik, please turn.
Pooja Jagwani. Okay, thank you. So we were talking about the research approach, deductive or inductive. So if you are, developing a theory, you are trying to develop a theory to answer the question. So that would be inductive. But if you are going to test a theory, okay, so that would be deductive. Okay. Many times we get confused with them. And then we have the strategies, research strategies. Also, in the research approach, we discuss about the qualitative and quantitative research. So quantitative researches are those where we are collecting the numerical data to answer the questions. If we are using the descriptive data to answer the questions, that would be qualitative. There could be experience-based, that can be, descriptive research, that can be exploratory research. So we have to, understand this research onion, and then we have to, for this also you need to review the literature. Okay, so next we have these strategies. This is actually the type of research. So what strategy you will apply to answer the question? So whether experimental research in a controlled environment where you will be, doing some experiment, and then this is most often used in the natural sciences and also in psychology. So or it is a survey, or it's a case study, or it's action research. So there are different types of research. Now it depends on how you're framing your research question. So if you are saying in your research question, what are the that you are going to analyze the FDI determinants. So what are the FDI determinants in GCC countries? So if you are writing only what, so you are going to respond as descriptive. So you're only going to identify these are the determinants. But if you want to see that how these determinants are, like why these determinants are the determinants, or why they are influencing FDI inflow, right? So that this way it would move to the descriptive and exploratory also. Now it depends that what is your scope of research. So next we have the research choices. I already discussed, like it could be mono method, either qualitative or quantitative. It can be mixed method, both qualitative and quantitative. Multi-method means it is not similar to mixed methods. Multi-method means you may have selected only qualitative, but you can have the survey, you can have the interviews, you can have the observation, right? So different tools of qualitative data you are employing in your research, so that would be multi-method. Also, quantitative, you will be using more than one methods of quantitative and qualitative. So this would make it multi-method. Now, to more explore about the methodology, there could be the differences in the data you are collecting. So on the basis of time horizon. So you can have the cross-sectional data or longitudinal data. And there are so many other types also, depending on the purpose of the topic. So cross-sectional means if you are having the, you are trying to answer the question by collecting the data and analyzing it for more than like for one only, right? For one period. So then, or you need more number of years data. Like for example, if you want to explore only 2024 data, or you want to explore the range of years, like starting with 1995 to 2024, or depends. So you have to specify the data collection methods also, that either it is secondary data or the primary data. So here the sample plays an important role here, that data collection and data analysis methods. So if your sample is large, right, or if your sample is small, like if you're going for the interviews data collection, then it, if it is thematic analysis, in research, more the merrier. If you're having more responses, that is better. But again, in the thematic analysis, in the qualitative research, it has bad impact also, because if you are going for the most of the data, trying to summarize it, it will lose its authenticity, because it will have more general aspect. So sometimes there are two schools of thought. Some people say, no, this is wrong. I may be wrong. But from that experience point of view, I'm telling, it is losing its authenticity. For example, if you want to do the research of whole world, for example, and you are just conducting, for example, 50 interviews around the world, so you won't be able to generalize it, right? So you have to specify, and then you have to you can rely on the results. So reliability matters. Next, about the research design essentials. All these things we have already discussed in detail. Okay, so data may surprise you. After you, for example, if your data is quantitative, you are downloading the data from any secondary resource, may it be World Bank data, then its reliability is a concern, but it can surprise you. In a way that you must have, described about the data analysis in the methodology section. You have to also describe about the analysis techniques, that how you will be analyzing the data. So first of all, let me just summarize it. The philosophy, research choice, whether it is going to be quantitative or qualitative research approach, it is in deductive or inductive, or what type of data you will be collecting, secondary or primary data. If it is primary data, then what type of primary data, or if it is secondary, then what secondary data you are collecting, either it's numbers or it's articles or what. So you have to define it. And then data collection methods, and then analysis and analysis technique, tools and techniques of analysis. Like it may be descriptive statistics if it is a quantitative data, or regression analysis if you want to find the relationship between any variables, then regression analysis, and standard equation, structural equation modeling, or ARDL approach, or whatever. There are so many analysis. How you are going to know that which tool you are going to use? By reviewing the articles. From the existing literature, you will be knowing that these models have been applied, these techniques have been applied. So if you take the data and you test that data, applying the same models, how you will be, coming up the results. So what it happens that sometimes you have depicting a lot, very nicely in the research proposal, but at the time of, because you did not test your data in a while. So when you are doing your research practically, you have applied the, you have put the data in any software, for example, SPSS or Stata or eViews, then the data reveals some surprising facts. Your hypotheses are not proving, it is your data is not having, you think that the data will be normal and it is having some, stationary problems. So it can surprise you. So then also you will have to change the data, or you can apply some diagnostic test. So it is a long discussion. So it depends. So don't worry about it. This is just a proposal. You don't have to be really perfect, but you try to be perfect, right? Because the more articles you will be reviewing, it will make you strong to discuss about what you want to do, what you actually want to research about. So that was about the methodology in little detail. Next important is the reference list. Already somehow discussed, but reference list related to the proposal, you must have to comply with the university policy. Like some universities are using Harvard style and some are using APA, some Chicago. So it depends that which referencing style you have to do with. So from the very beginning of starting with ideation, you keep all the records with you. So there are different softwares you can use. Maybe you can have some other session with, learning about the softwares to use. On the YouTube also, you will find a lot about these softwares, how to use these softwares. RefWork is there, but it also is sometimes it is paid, but this is available with the university IDs, and Mendeley is there, Zotero and Note is there. So there are some softwares. So just, in a glimpse, referencing guide would be, first of all, you have to familiarize the referencing and citation style of your university. And then,
sorry to interrupt, Ms. Alavi, as we are running a bit short on time. Could I kindly ask you to wind up your presentation in next 5 minutes?
sure. Yeah, it will be winded up in 5 minutes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so collect references early and record full citation details. So what is most important? Keeping the record of whatever you are reviewing, that is important. Knowing the reference style and then keeping all the records. So this is this varies from universities to universities about the practicalities. Some universities want the students to describe about the plan, how they will be, they can use the Gantt charts to describe about, like in the first week, I'll be doing this, second week alongside, like the whole plan, how you will be doing your research. Like if you are doing the PhD proposal, then you will have to, make the plan for 3 years. Okay. So it depends. Project plan already discussed. Next, the resource plan. What kind of resources, right? Secondary resources or, the primary sources. So you have to put all the resources which you want to plan. Next, risk management. Sometimes it happens you are losing all the data, whatever you collected, and along with the references. So better you use the softwares. It is a very safe way. Okay. And for this one, the practicalities, risk management is what if you will not, for example, it most often happens in the qualitative data. When you are not coming up with the, for example, if you are exploring on the experiences of students in UK universities, may it be related to their academics, related to the quality of education or whatever. So what if you don't get the desired results? So what will be your contingency plan? So you have to be very sharp in the sense about the risk management. And also a risk management in a sense of access to data. Sometimes you have written in your proposal that you will be collecting this type of data, but in actual it is very expensive and you are not able to, buy it. And so the access is not there. So as we discuss about the closed journals and open access journals. Ethical compliance, I already have discussed a bit. And the data collection method. It depends on some universities are giving some projects so that, and they are limiting the data collection methods. So it depends on the universities. So this is a preview of Gantt chart that how you can plan about the project. Some final tips, know your literature first of all, don't rush the process. It is a time-taking process. Sit, patiently and write your ideas, work on your ideas, take time, okay, ask the experts and format it very well. Ask experts, proofread it, okay? Keep all the records and save your life. So that's it. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, you can connect with me on my social media platforms. Thank you so much. Now coming to the questions.
Thank you, Ms. Alavi, for sharing your valuable insights on writing research proposals. Your expertise and guidance have been incredibly beneficial, and we appreciate time you have taken to be with us today. We open the floor to questions. We encourage everyone to take this opportunity to engage with our resource person and clarify any doubts or seek further insights on writing research proposals. Kindly raise your hands or write the question in the chat box. Any questions?
So I encourage all participants if they are having any questions, we can take few questions.
Okay, so there I can see a question here. If I am doing a mixed quantity and quality method, which one is usually done first, quantity followed by quality or the other way? So depends on your research objective actually. Like if you want to have both the ways, so it is also on the basis of what is convenient to you. Okay, that it depends on your research objective that why you are selecting both the ways. Right. For example, if your research objective is to explore A and another research objective is to explore B and the third is explore the relationship of A and B, right? Or sometimes we have the comparison. So it depends on the objective, on the research question as well. So there is no such criteria that you should go first for the qualitative and then you go for the quantitative. But in case if you are having a follow-up research, like for example, you first collect the responses of the experiment, experiences on XYZ topic, and then you quantify those experiences, like if they are good, so in which ways they are good, so then you can have the quantitative. Like you can then develop the scales depending on the responses. So, it depends on the objectives and the research questions.
There's this one question. Suman, can you explain method of pilot survey?
Yeah, pilot survey is like, it is actually a very good idea. Most often we use in the qualitative methods to test the reliability and validity of the research instrument that you are using. For example, a questionnaire, right? So you test that research questionnaire. You just, for example, you are planning to get the data from 300 participants to first you go for the whole comprehensive data collection. First you can go for only collection the data from the 30 or 30 participants to see that how the participants are responding and what could be the results. Then you can test its reliability and then you can go ahead. It is actually a good idea in the qualitative research. It is to check that if you are getting the related responses or not.
Since more questions are coming, but we are running a bit short on time, so I would like the participants to reach out to the ma'am on her LinkedIn platform so that they can get in touch and get answer to their questions. Once again, I thank you, ma'am, and I thank you all for being here. I would also like to extend my gratitude to Dr. Firdaus and the organizers of this workshop for giving me this opportunity, to moderate this session. Your efforts in putting together this event are highly commendable, and it has been an honor to be a part of it. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Firdaus. Also, I would like to thank your organization and your team effort to do these wholesome efforts for the academia. This really plays a crucial role in the development, for all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let me, give a vote of thanks formally. Ladies and gentlemen, participants across the globe, as we are wrapping up the first day of our workshop, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to everyone who made today a success. A special thank you to our esteemed resource person from the post-very session, Saki Roy, then Aina Bismil, for this insightful presentation and valuable contribution. Your expertise has greatly enriched our discussion. We are also deeply grateful to our moderators, starting from Professor Rubina Pradhan, now Khair Samar, for your skillful and engaging moderation. Your guidance has ensured smooth and productive session. Thank you to our organizing committee, especially OS, for his tireless efforts in planning and executing this event, and to our participants for their active engagement and a great enthusiasm. Lastly, thank you to everyone who joined us today. Your presence and participation are what make this workshop meaningful. Let us look forward to the coming days with the same enthusiasm. Thank you all once again. So at the end, I would take the opportunity to ask all the participants to open your camera. Let us have some.
So before we leave today's session, we want to let you know that we will be meeting again tomorrow at 3 p.m. With our new resource persons and with new topics. So it will be an enlightened sessions in upcoming days. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.
So stay with me for 1 or 2 minutes because I'm taking photos. So let me do some settings. Those who are having open video, we can take on the here. Yeah. So now we are having only people who are having open video. So just a minute. Thanks once again. I will, ask. I would, kindly request you to follow us on the LinkedIn platform where it is Jammu and Kashmir Economic Association. You can tag us about the today's session, and we are also on Facebook. And what we really need from your side, the patience and the discipline. If you maintain it, we'll definitely have a remarkable workshop ahead. And ahead are great sessions where we are going to learn almost 9 software. If you try to maintain in the discipline and try to maintain the notebook, definitely you will achieve something great in your research career. Thank you very much once again. Let us meet tomorrow. So you can
Thank
now
you all.
leave the session.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
We have to leave now session. Tomorrow we will be joining the same link. Okay, so we have to, if we will end the meeting, then we have to create the new. So I request you all just leave the meeting, please. Unless you will not leave the meeting, it will remain like this. So you have to leave the meeting from your side. Shankar, can you please leave the meeting now?